Hi my lovies, welcome back to my channel. I don't know if this is a tag video, but I do see an awful lot of YouTubers doing it, particularly Jessica Braun, and I saw Samantha March. I think a girl called Sabrina came up with this tag or type video. I'm not really sure exactly, but I will leave a link to everybody that I mentioned in this video down below in regards to this tag. So basically it's my makeup collection that I would have had I never seen YouTube, or if I wasn't on YouTube, you know, what would it contain? So I'm going to go through the products that I have here, along with the little stories behind some of them and why I use them, pick them up, have worn them, and would repurchase them. My makeup collection would be pretty tiny, I'm not going to lie, if I wasn't on YouTube. The whole thing with YouTube is when I watch videos, I'm enabled to buy things. Somebody mentions something, they like it, I want it. I mean, we've all been there, we've all done that. And then also because I want to review things for you guys, I pick up things that I don't necessarily need, that I don't want, but I pick them up anyway to review them, to see what they're like. And then obviously things that I get sent in PR, which I'm forever grateful for. But we don't need all of this makeup. So I just want to talk to you guys about what my makeup collection would look like. I hope you guys like this video. And if you want to see what my makeup would look like if I wasn't on YouTube, then keep watching. I'm not even going to mention primer. Like, what the hell is primer for? I wouldn't have a clue. And had I not seen any YouTube videos, I probably would still be never using primer because I'm not a makeup artist. I've never been told by anybody. I've never read anything anywhere about using primers, so I just probably wouldn't own one. That's just being realistic. I would, however, own foundation. Foundation was a thing that I got into probably when I was about maybe 17. So just when I was like leaving secondary school, I started to dabble into foundation. Actually, I remember getting my first foundation for my boyfriend's Debs. That's when I got my first foundation. So I was about 15 at that time when I went to his Debs because he was 2 years older than me. And the foundation that I selected, and probably be the only foundation that I have now because it's never steered me wrong, I've never needed to branch away from it and I've always loved it and come back to it, is the L'Oreal True Match. And I still to this day repurchase it and wear it and love it. And I think it is great. It's been formulated so well and was one of the first foundations that I ever wore on my face. And I would probably have this in my collection if I had never seen a YouTube video and been enabled to buy 10,000 million foundations. Another foundation I would probably have is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I discovered this when I was in my early days in college. I got this in a sample in a magazine. I wore it twice and I was like, holy god, this is like the best foundation ever. I need a full size of it. I scrimped and saved for this foundation, purchased it, and it lasted me, I'd say, about a year at the time because I was using the tiniest amount of it and only wearing it on nights out and not into college or whatever, where I would use something like this to wear into college. And they would probably be the only two foundations I would wear. If I had to stretch and say a third foundation, because I do love foundations, that's never going to change. Even if I'd never seen a YouTube video, I'd still be so into foundations. But the other one would be the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. The reason why is because my friend Jenna worked for MAC. She gave me this when I was, I'd say, about 16, and I loved it. And then also Michelle, when I was in college, loved this foundation and she talked about it a lot. So I ended up picking it up for that reason. But if I had to pick, it'd probably be these two over this one. However, I was enabled by my friends to purchase this. The next thing I want to talk about is powder. This is going to be no surprise to anybody, but the only powder I would have would be the Stay Matte Press powder. This was my first makeup product. The first product I ever tried as a teen on my face was this, and I would probably still be purchasing it to this day because what I say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This never ever caused me any problems, held back my oils because I've had oily skin like obviously my whole life, and it offers like the tiniest amount of coverage, and I do really like it. Since kind of like dabbling into powders and stuff, I've noticed that the Fit Me Matte and Poreless is a little, like a teeny bit better than that one. It offers a little bit more coverage, it has a slight color to it as well, and just kind of covers up. But I feel like one of those two powders, because their drugstore would have been my choice and probably would still only be using these now. I'm never gonna not love makeup, so I probably would have expanded my collection anyway because I love it. And I've loved it since before I did YouTube, but YouTube definitely enabled me to buy more. So I probably would have went with one of these two, stuck with it, and, you know, never needed to change. Concealer for me was only to cover blemishes. It was not to highlight underneath the eyes, to brighten, nothing like that. It was for covering up imperfections on the face. And one of the first concealers I ever used was the Collection concealer. I think I used this before YouTube, but I also feel like Fleur de Force really homed in that this was a great concealer. So I can't solely say if I'd never seen YouTube that I would pick this up, because the packaging was not really that appealing to me, if that makes sense. However, I did like trying different concealers, and when new concealers came out, I was definitely like, I homed in on them, because, you know, when you're a teenager, you get spots and, you know, you want to cover them up. And that was my major issue, was like spots and blemishes and breakouts when I was a teenager. I've always had relatively okay skin, didn't have that many breakouts, but if I did, I went in with a concealer like this. And I had this one in my collection for the longest time. It's the Lasting Perfection from Collection, if I didn't say that. And I used to just dab it onto spots. And that's probably what I would do now as well, because I don't know anything about concealing underneath your eyes to brighten them up and cover up dark circles. It wasn't a concern of mine. I just took foundation and put it all over my face, and I probably would still do that now if I hadn't seen YouTube videos, because where else would I have heard that you know, highlight underneath the eyes, except for maybe with Kim K coming out with stuff online and then maybe in magazines and stuff. But I probably would still use this to cover blemishes and then go in with my Stay Matte pressed powder just to set my face, which is what I did in school and probably would still do now. I was massively into bronzer in school. I loved bronzer. I think I used bronzer and powder, and they were like my two fail-safe products, and mascara obviously, but I didn't even fill in my brows. I didn't wear blusher, nothing like that. Highlighter, what the hell is highlighter? Bronzer was a big part of my makeup regime. I always used the Rimmel bronzer. It looked horrific on me. It just had shimmers in it and it wasn't good. But if now I was purchasing a bronzer, I would probably go for the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. Physicians Formula is available here in Ireland, but only in selected stores. It's kind of hard to find, and TK Maxx do have it from time to time. Probably pick this up because it looks nice. I love the packaging. I love the smell of it. And before I would have even tried it on my face, I would have been totally attracted by the packaging, and that's why I would have purchased this, let alone the fact that it's an amazing bronzer and one of my favorite. It would have just been something I was drawn to, and probably be the only bronzer I'd have in my collection. And like I said, it's been recently released in Ireland, and there's, you know, stands in Ireland of it now, and I would have been drawn to it, and I would have just purchased it, and I would only have this bronzer because I would have realized how amazing it was, and I wouldn't have needed anything else. I definitely discovered on my own that the Rimmel bronzer was not for me, especially not shimmery like forehead and shimmery face, because that's where I used to put my bronzer. Everywhere, like all over my face. That, and then I used to use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark and just get a big powder brush and just put it everywhere on nights out. What was I thinking? But now this would probably be the only bronzer I would have. I never was really a massive lover of blush, but I did know that blush was a good product to have in your collection. And if I had only one blush to have in my collection, it would be MAC Warm Soul. I am drawn to blushes like this. I'm not into like overly crazy bright blushes. I went through that phase of like Dolly Mix blush from MAC, and, you know, really bright blushes. But I would probably only have this one in my collection. It's all I need, and to be honest, it's all I pick up right now. Like, I don't pick up that many blushes out of my collection. I use Warm Soul maybe like 9 times out of 10 when I'm picking up a blush, or Madly from NARS. They're my only two go-to blushes. I would like to treat myself to some high-end things, and I know if I went into a MAC counter looking for a blush, this is the one I would pick up. I'm not going to change my personality just because I'm on YouTube. I wouldn't be different in real life and be like, oh no, I don't like makeup. Makeup's part of my personality. I love it. I love beauty and I can't deny it. So I would want to treat myself to something high-end as well, and something like this blush would be perfect. And the fact that it lasts so long on the cheeks and the formula is great in it would be another like reason why I would probably have this and repurchase it. I would use up a product and repurchase it. Like, that's what I used to do back in the day. And that's probably what I would still do now if I wasn't making YouTube content. I definitely wouldn't wear or own a highlight because YouTube drew me into that whole highlight game. And to be honest, it's only become my favourite part of makeup as of late because it's a makeup trend. Does that make sense? So I probably never would have got into it if it hadn't become a makeup trend or such a massive deal on YouTube. I just probably would have never bought any highlights. I had MAC Soft and Gentle. That was my very first highlight. And I bought that around the same time as the Mary Luminizer from the BAM. But again, I think I was like in secondary school and it was popular on YouTube, and that's why I bought it. I think Marlena actually used to talk about Soft and Gentle, and that's why I bought it. So I probably would never know anything about highlighting if I hadn't watched YouTube or if I wasn't on YouTube. Brows became a big game changer for me around the last years in school, I started to like dip into brown eyeshadows. I had my eyebrows plucked within an inch of their life. I have naturally full eyebrows and I was just over plucking them. So then I discovered let them grow out, and I did that in my Leaving Cert year, and I started to put like brow products through them to kind of like fill out any sparsities. So I did use brow products, I learned the way, but I used to use a brown eyeshadow to fill in my brows, and I think it was MAC's Charcoal or something like that. It was like a really dark brown eyeshadow, and it was from MAC, I remember, but I can't quite remember what shade it was. But now if I needed to fill in my brows, I would probably gravitate to like a little brow kit like this one, which is from Rimmel, and I probably more than likely would go for this Rimmel one because it's actually pretty decent. It's really inexpensive, and to me, I wouldn't have realized that my brows were such a mess if it wasn't for YouTube. Probably would have just gone with something like this because it had a brown eyeshadow in it. I wouldn't have used the wax side at all, so this is probably what I would have picked up. But I did love brow pencils as well, and I had the Rimmel brow pencil, but I'm including the Precisely My Brow because this was my favorite brow pencil, and I would have discovered this on my own because hello, look at the packaging. And also Benefit have huge advertisements, like they really advertise their products. Even when you walk into like a Debenhams or something like that and there's a Benefit counter, it's just kind of like it's flashing at you and drawing you over. And I would have been interested in these brow products and probably would have picked up the Precisely My Brow first and then expanded my collection as I found out that they were pretty decent products. I use this a lot to fill in my eyebrows, and I also love the Gimme Brow, the Precisely My Brow, all those things, but I probably wouldn't have used the Gimme Brow because I would have been okay with my brows being like a bushy hot mess and thought it was a look until YouTube told me otherwise. I may also have picked up the Browsings from Benefit because again, they're like this type of product and it has a brow shadow in it, but I wouldn't have used the wax, and I wouldn't have known anything about how to use the wax or why you would use the wax in the duos. Definitely I would have invested in a good brow pencil. For eyeshadows, I have no doubt what eyeshadows I would only be using if I wasn't on YouTube, and they are the Inglot eyeshadows. The reason why is because they come in a ton of different colours, they're really inexpensive, they come in like custom made palettes, or you make your custom made palette, and I love the quality of the eyeshadows, can't deny it. I used Inglot before I ever watched YouTube videos, and the reason why was because, like I said, they're inexpensive eyeshadows, and eyeshadows to get in the drugstore were really hard to get decent quality ones. And then every time I went into MAC, like one eyeshadow was like €15, and I just kind of got like a bit sick of that, like spending €15 on an eyeshadow just for a good quality one. So when Inglot came to Ireland, I know I was very young when it did come to Ireland, but when I started to get into makeup and realised that they did individual shadows, I was totally drawn to Inglot, and I'd still have Inglot eyeshadows, and they'd be probably all I would be using because, like I said, they're really inexpensive and they come in like a million different colours, and they're great quality as well. And I mean, you can't really deny that. I mean, I love the shades of them, I love the quality of them. What more can I say? They would have been the only thing I would own. No palettes, nothing like that, because palettes don't really draw me in. I probably would have gotten an inexpensive palette from maybe Maybelline or something, and then noticed that it wasn't as great quality, and then went back to the Inglot shadows. Now eyeliner is definitely a thing I would have gone for and would have loads of. I had purple eyeliners, blue eyeliners, green eyeliners. I had every single colour eyeliner. I bought them all from Bourjois. I remember they had like this electric blue one. I don't have it anymore, but you guys know it. If you've been here from the beginning, you will have seen it on my channel, and I'll try and link it here somewhere. It was the most intense blue eyeliner I've ever seen, and I used to smudge it all the way underneath my lower lash line and put Electric Eel eyeshadow from MAC over it. And that was my look. I don't know what I was thinking, but I loved eyeliner, coloured eyeliner in particular. Now I'm just so basic and all I like is brown and black. That's it. But the brown and black ones that I probably would have went for the Essence one because they're inexpensive, and I felt like, why am I spending so much money on eyeliners, like getting ones from MAC, when these are just as good? However, I did love the 24/7 eyeliners from Urban Decay, and that was just my own like purchasing of them. I bought a few over the years and really enjoyed them, but I probably would have just went back to inexpensive eyeliners. I don't use them enough, to be honest, to, you know, justify the cost of them. Now I wear like MAC eyeliner because people on YouTube have said that the eyeliners work better and they last longer, and I would have never have known that or purchased them because I would have thought they were totally overpriced for what they were, when you could get the same thing from Essence or Rimmel or Bourjois for a more affordable price. So I probably would still stick with the Essence ones. However, having not known that MAC ones are so amazing. I was really missing out. I was missing out. I'm not going to lie, because they are incredible. Now, I don't have the original one of these. I'm just using the Urban Decay as like a temp, but I probably would still be using the collection glitter liners. I loved them. I had all the colours, all of them, and I used to wear them underneath my eye, all over my eyelid, everywhere. So I'm talking about the Urban Decay heavy metal liners just in replacement, but they're basically the same thing. Actually, the Urban Decay ones are much better quality, but they're just a glitter liner. You can see that there. And I adored glitter liners. I loved them. So I would definitely continue to purchase them. I would definitely have them, and I would always have them in my collection because I was just drawn to glitter liners. Like, there was nothing about YouTube. Nobody ever steered me in the direction of glitter liners. I just loved them myself personally, and I probably still have them in my collection. One thing though, I would have branched out and got this myself, and the reason I would have branched out and got these myself, these are the Stila Magnificent Metals, because I do love liquid glitter. And the glitters from, like, we'll say like Urban Decay and the collection ones were too high maintenance to try and get them all over your lid. So having something like this come out, I definitely would have picked it up. Like I said, these are the liquid glitters from Stila. The Magnificent Metals is actually the name of them. And I would have 100% purchased these. Even in the autumn time, Christmas time, I always had loose glitter that I'd stick on with my finger. And I can't remember how I used to stick it on, because I don't remember using a glitter glue, but I used to do that at Christmas. I'd go on nights out and I'd have glitter all over my eye. I used to stick gems. Oh, must have been eyelash glue. I used to stick gems to the outside of my eye and in here and everything, like when I'd be going on nights out for my birthday on New Year's. I remember it because I remember my mum saying that it was very dangerous if those gems got stuck in my eye. So I definitely would have picked these up because they're glitter eyeshadows and they're probably eye safe. I don't know. Like, if glitter gets into your eye, it's probably not ideal. I love these Magnificent Metals. Again, YouTube enabled me to buy them, but I probably would have found them on my own accord. When it came to lip liner, the only lip liner I ever used to use was a soft pink one. I can't remember. I think it was called Rose Pink from Essence, and I had it for years. I had it when I was in school, and I went through about 10 of them. It was the ugliest shade of pink ever, but I loved it. However, when I was in college and went to the MAC counter, the girl, I said to her I wanted a lip liner, and I was actually willing to spend money on a lip liner, believe it or not. I don't know why, but she picked out Whirl for me, and that's how long I have Whirl. I have it forever, and I'd still have it in my collection because I used to do that thing where I find something, I like it, and I'll keep reusing it and repurchasing it. I bought this lip liner probably 4 times in my life. I love it. So the first time I ever got this was in college, and I will still buy it. I remember it went through a phase you couldn't even buy that for love nor money because Kylie Jenner had said it was one of her favorite lip liners. And then the 2 lipsticks I would have had a pink one and a nude one. That was it. I wouldn't have needed like coral shades and like bright oranges and reds and stuff that I never wear because I'm just not into them. So I don't know why I bought them all. I think it was just because YouTube, somebody would say on YouTube, I like this colour, then I'd have to go and buy it, and then I'd be like, but I don't wear colours like that, so I'm never going to use it. Same with wing liner. I never did wing liner in school or college. I didn't know anything about wing liner until YouTube showed me the way, and that wing liner was the way to go, and I still can't do it right. All those years later. So these 2 lipsticks are the be-all, end-all lipsticks for me. And the only 2 I would have purchased because these are the ones that I wanted forever. I always wanted MAC lipsticks, not because of any YouTuber, not because of anything, just because MAC was really cool and girls in school had it and I wanted it and I wanted their lipsticks. And I remember getting one of these. I can't remember which one it was that I got first. I think it was Angel. I got it for my birthday. I think my mum bought it for me and I wore it to death. About 5 of these I've gone through maybe in my life. So that's Angel there. And I also love Creme Cup too, but my Creme Cup is missing at the moment. And I only bought a new one recently. And the other lipstick I would have purchased was Blankety, and I've gone through 2, maybe even 3 of these as well. But that's Blankety there. It's just like a really nice nude and then Angel beside it. These are the only 2 lipsticks I would have worn because I like nudes and I like a light nude pink. And I wouldn't have needed all those other lipsticks, and I probably would never buy them because, hello guys, how often do you see me wearing dark lips or bright lips or red lips? I know I try my best to wear them, but I don't like them on my mouth. I hate them on my lips. I don't think they look nice on me. I think red lips look awful on me. I think like orange lips look awful on me. I just can't really pull off colours on my lips. Colours on my eyes, yeah, I'll experiment with that, but colours on my lips, no. So this is the only reason I would have those 2. And even being on YouTube, I only gravitate towards these colours anyway. So YouTube actually just enabled me to buy more lipsticks. That's all it did. And lipsticks that I don't wear. Oh god. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. So please let me know one product that you guys love so much that was not encouraged by YouTube, that you found of your own accord and you love it and you've repurchased it to death and you love it so much and you never want to go without it, because they're some of my favorite ones and definitely products I would have if I wasn't on YouTube. So I want to say a huge thank you to all you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any requests of future videos, please leave them down below. I'm going to get a big drink of water because I feel like I'm out of breath now. I will chat to all you guys in my next video. Mwah! Bye!